I don't know this tree. Welcome to another edition of 60 Minutes with Mother Nature. Today we are at Stush in the Bush and we take a tour of the farm here at Stush in the Bush. In our last episode, we shared with you some of the wonderful gastronomical meal that is available here. I had a wonderful time. We all had a wonderful time with the meal here. I strongly recommend that you take the time out to experience what it is like to be stush in the bush. And this, the experience is typical of what we are seeking to do on our property there at the Kibbutz Kahai Eco Village. So now we're gonna go on our tour. So let's go, guys. Yeah, that's called
That's Coyote.
yeah, chocho,
Chocho, yeah.
and that is trumpet,
Trumpet tree.
a little trumpet tree. And this we call this dandelion,
Yeah.
but it's actually pissa bed.
Uh-huh.
So the seeds are grounded like coffee, tastes pretty much like coffee too. So as a matter of fact, it's a very good coffee substitute.
You got the guaco.
Guaco, right? The guaco growing there.
Hit the road.
Let's hit the road, Jack.
So come on in.
And I notice Rasta. What about your shoes? You're not afraid of bacteria and all them something there?
These are my original shoes.
What you saying to me?
Original. I born with these.
Okay, all right. All right.
Every year it's the right size.
Every year, right size, right.
Every year out it's
So
always right.
Rasta very connected,
Right fit.
very connected, and we are
Guys,
insulated.
I'm gonna ask you to kind of stick together. If you're gonna move with us, move with us. If you lay behind, you might get eaten.
All right, so I think I should keep everybody together.
Stay with the pack. Yes. Yeah, well, him you can go and lean on, 'cause that's what he loves. But everybody else, let's keep it moving.
That's
good
a win.
question. What do you think?
Yeah,
You think it's
Yeah.
breeze?
Yeah.
You sure? You
yeah.
want to run for your raincoat? Thinking about it, aren't you?
Petting him. Yeah, it's a win through the
Win through the willow.
willows.
Oh, you have more dogs?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
have 8 in total, and
So do you breed them to sell?
they breed each other. Yes.
Yeah.
Rasta not do them thing there.
Be very careful with our words.
Yes, Rasta.
Get the wrong idea.
Yeah, Rasta not do them thing.
Yeah. So as we walk, you will notice that it sounds like it's raining, and these are known typically as weeping willows. They're not casuarinas, as I thought for years, or Caribbean pine. They actually belong to a family of trees called willows. They came here probably from Australia or someplace like that, New Zealand. I think they brought them here to make fence posts. And they've proliferated all over the island. Different species of them are here. But the Caribbean pine looks very similar to this, but this one is very soft in nature. So it's not good for it's really not good for fence posts. It rottens fairly quickly, but it is a super fast grower. And it doesn't really produce seeds, but it's gonna pop up everywhere that it
The
comes
roots.
above the soil. So it's what they call rhizomatic. So they're all over. I think we got 5 of them on the farm initially. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's a couple more down there, and one of them died. And then all the other ones you've seen are self-propagating. So as soon as they come above the soil, they send up a little seedling. Why you want them on your property? Good, because of this lovely noise. Very soothing. You don't have to buy one of those tapes if you have trouble sleeping at nighttime. Spread your blanket underneath this, you're good to go. The leaves, however, are highly acidic. And as you notice, nothing grows under this tree because of the leaves. And it also will kill other trees as well, like this coconut tree that we have here. If you get an accumulation of the leaves, it just suffocates anything underneath it. Great for starting fires, though. So if you need, if it's dry or green, you light a match here and it's a towering inferno pretty quick. We do put it in our compost for that level of acidity that you need for certain things like carrots. Fortunately, not very scientific, but we just think about it in that sense.
What's this?
This, these are some plants that we're gonna put in. We started these as microgreens. So part of what we do as far as providing really cool vegetarian food is to use microgreens. If you haven't experienced microgreens before, they're just really young. They're almost like sprouts. So you can get all different mixes of microgreens.
High in enzymes, very enzymic.
You're talking about 5 days worth of growth. They're very short. Snip them, put them in your salad, and it looks really cute. All of the high-end chefs are gonna dot their great meals with little microgreens because it's just very brand on. So once they grow out, they basically become like regular crops. So this one is a mixture of mustard. You've got red Russian kale, got a couple different lettuces. You have tatsoi, another mustard here, and another lettuce. And I think this is a pepper seed because I smuggled some poblano pepper seeds in from Mexico the other day. And I stuck them in here and then they weren't growing. And then I stuck the microgreens in here and then they started to grow. So we're gonna go to a couple of different spots. Regenerative is really how we think about life. We have maybe about 17 acres up here. Don't tell the government because they don't know that. If you work for tax revenue, I didn't say that. Just ignore what I just said. But this land has been in my family since the 1890s. So I was born in Freehill, just on the other side of this hill. And we grew up here. But this was our playground as kids because the family house was other side of the hill, and we would lie to my grandaunt. We said, "Mama, we'll get the cow water." Because we had a couple of cows out here, and she always loved when you went to give them water, but that's not really what we were going to do. We came for this fruit right here. Yes. Enough Neesberry tree. If you have a fruit that tastes like caramelized sugar, what more could a child want? So we'd lie. We'd say, we're going to give the cow water. We'd come out here for the afternoon, eat Neesberry, and play Dolly House with your friend them from school.
Any idea why Freehill is called Freehill?
Freehill is in, well, if you notice, you probably didn't notice, but when you were coming up, you passed through St. Anne's Bay.
Yeah.
And St. Anne's Bay is right next to a place called Seville.
Seville, yes.
Seville, it was the first Spanish capital of Jamaica. So when we go up on this mountain right here, you're going to be looking down at Seville.
Oh.
The great house.
So probably Freehill was
the plantation.
Right.
So you came through Seville. You came in a town called Priory.
Right.
And if you looked at Priory, there's actually an anchor.
Yes.
Right on the side there. It's rumored that it's from one of Columbus's ships.
Oh, okay.
So
Freehill,
true or not, somebody stole it. They said it was haunted and they had to bring it back because of what happened. So then you come up through a place called Tanglewood.
Yes.
Or a tangled wood or forest.
Tanglewood.
And I remember as kids, you wouldn't even see the coastline because Tanglewood was pure forest. We see all those big, beautiful houses. Pass through a place called Lewis. Lewis is directly to another place called Richmond Estates. And Richmond Estates, up until, hey, stop the plane, I said. Langston. Up until I first came back to Jamaica, was still sugar cane, full on acres and acres of sugar cane. You could stay up here and smell the cane on the breeze when they would light the cane for Christmas harvest. And then you come past a place called Lewis. That's another plantation. Richmond is it's actually in Lewis now, where the houses are. So they chopped down all the sugar cane. They planted coconuts. The coconuts did okay. Then they cut down the coconuts, or it had a disease. Then they planted all this other cool stuff, and they said, okay, forget all that. Let's plant houses. So now it's one of the biggest housing schemes in Jamaica, where what used to be pure cane field.
Wow.
So you're coming up through history. The next little town you pass through is called Roadside, and it's called Roadside because all of the house them up on the roadside.
Yes.
You pass Roadside, and if you notice, there was another bus stop before you got to the Freehill bus stop. Anybody knows that bus stop? There's a sign on it. No, before you got to the Freehill one.
Didn't see that one. I was
Didn't see that one?
No.
I bet you're gonna know when I said it. It has a sign that says "Welcome to Liberty."
Yes, Liberty Baptist Church.
Liberty Baptist Church. So you hear what these people are doing. as they're making the journey from the plantation up to the hills, they are marking their journey with the names of the places they're passing.
Yeah.
So Free Hill probably would have been.
Free Hill most definitely is one of the early free villages. The earliest free villages in St. Anne is a place called Sturgestown, which is about another 45-minute drive over to the east of here, to the west of here.
Mhm.
So most of the people that came up here came via that free village network,
Right.
which is most likely why Free Hill got its name.
Got this name.
Yeah, but it's not called Free Hill. On my birth certificate, it actually says Little Kent.
Mm.
So there's a lot of little mix-up going on. But you don't know. The willow, the value of it is just something that is invasive, they say.
Mhm.
You know what that word is?
Yeah, just grew up.
And we had a lady here one time, and she was very vociferous that I need to cut down these trees because they're bad trees and they're an invasive species. I said, what do you mean invasive? She said, well, they're not from the place where they are, and they take over everything that they touch. And I'm like, that sounds familiar. So she said, you need to get rid of these trees. So I said, well, maybe we need to get rid of the other invasive species like ourselves. And the world would be a better place. And she was like, no, you don't know what I mean. But
And I noticed she's no longer here.
well, she wasn't here to stay. Let's just say that. So we're gonna go to one of the new places that we're working at because you guys are focusing on. She does that. Some way of showing off.
Some nice leaf
Feed
alive.
them coconuts.
Yeah, it's their favorite treat. Other than sushi food, coconuts are their go-to to really cure a lot of different respiratory events. If the mosquitoes are biting you up, Search Me Hard is your best friend because you can just rub that juice in. And it's leaf of life, and it's leaf of life, I think, because it
Propagates easily.
actually propagates directly from the leaf. Yeah, which means it's one of the best plants to smuggle into countries where they don't want you to bring plant-based medicine into their country. This one is actually just starting to put it on the line. They can come for me. I don't care.
Nothing
This-
being recorded should be put on.
This one is just starting to sprout.
Turn it over.
Right?
Alright.
So that means that this thing, as long as we don't do something stupid like, put poison here, this is going to be here replicating itself for generations. And then, of course, we have the champion of plant-based medicine, the good old what we call Synchro Bible in Jamaica. Everybody know Synchro Bible?
Yes.
Rest of the world call this
Aloe
aloe vera. What the Egyptians initially called the leaf of immortality. Yeah, apparently pharaohs were embalmed in aloe vera. So if you ever really need to embalm yourself, if you're feeling bites, scrapes,
Burns,
burns,
irritation,
inflammation, constipate, all of the Asians. If you're constipated, aloe vera and coconut water. And if you are diuretic, if you have diarrhea, aloe vera and coconut water. It works both ways. Don't ask me how or why, but it is great for soothing any ailments of your stomach. If you're gravelicious, if you're greedy and you're going out and you want to eat something you're not supposed to eat, just eat some of this first. And it coats your stomach. You smack the hammer on your finger, just stick it in here, cool it right down. I mean, this can really do almost anything by me. And if you're feeling really hungry on any given day, you can always take a bite. It's not going to fill your belly, but it's going to make the rest of your body feel
because it's high in fiber.
high in fiber. Is that true? And there it is. Ooey gooey fun. Some people say it's bitter, but when it's like this, it's actually not that bitter.
No, it's just a bit of the skin.
It's just a stain.
Yeah, so some people say it's the stain.
Yeah, between the green skin and the inner fillet, there's anthraquinone glycosides that are laxative effect.
Yeah, too much can be.
Powerful laxative. You're here first. Don't try to chew it. If you're gonna have it, just swallow. It's also great for your hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, rub it into your locks.
Told me too late.
It's never too late. All right,
Rub it on my head when it grows back.
Fruit coming in a little while. Star apple, if you don't know star apple, this is the world's meanest fruit.
Yeah.
You like star apple?
I don't know.
It's a good plant for cold too. This one. It's very good for
What's this one?
it's a fir tree. Juniper. And this is a yoga deck, right?
Yeah, kind of.
I notice the pineapples that are here, you use what the grass that you cut. The grass that you cut, you use it to help you control the weed and to retain the moisture in the soil.
It looks like that, don't it?
Yeah.
Kind of. The primary thing is this entire area is 90% rock, limestone.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no soil, or there is very little soil.
Jeez.
So what you're seeing here is soil that we've kind of built up. So it's all rock. This is all rock. So what we've done first is clear away the shrub, and then we layered grass to keep down the grass, and also to fill between the rocks. And then where the pineapples like really good drainage, so we just add a little compost within the rock, we push the pineapple in, and then what we'll do next is we're gonna come over this with another layer of compost and another layer of grass,
Keep
and
building
we'll
it
plant
up.
something on top of that. So this area is totally about using what you have to your best advantage. And what we have here is a lot of rocks. Even that area there, I mean, our eventual aim is to kind of create almost like what you call a citadel of plants. So you'll have plants that surround at the top. You'll have a little area where you can sit down, and then you'll be surrounded by pineapples. The pineapples were inspired by a trip to Mexico. And if you see that big tree right back there, looks like an agave or agave, which you use to make the syrup. I'm not really into the syrup, but I love tequila and mezcal. So this is an agave that really grows wild here. I'm not sure you can get anything out of it, but we're gonna try it out. But then the pineapples give you a really nice agave feel. And whereas mezcal is what they use agave for in places like Oaxaca, I'm still trying to figure out a product that we can do with pineapple. It's very good for coughs, I hear. I don't know
Good
if
for
they
the
want to make a
stomach.
cough syrup. It's not very sexy.
Good for the stomach. Good for
For the
digestion.
stomach, still not sexy. I'm thinking of wine,
Yeah.
cordial, or something like that.
You use pineapple to make cleaner.
Cleaner.
Not very sexy.
Man,
Really good detergents.
Detergent? No.
All natural.
Come
man.
back to
All
me.
natural.
Come back to me. Oh, maybe an all natural detergent.
That's what I'm saying.
All right,
Detergents
all right.
are real bad for the
All
environment.
right. So the whole idea here is to use the space. I have to confess, this one time used to kind of look like that. So even here was pretty much all woods, and it was all rock. It's still all rock. But we find little pockets of soil, and then we are bringing in truckloads of compost besides the compost that we can produce on the farm. And then what we do is we mix crops. If you notice my citrus, what do you notice about my citrus?
No leaves.
Yes, what does that tell you as a farmer?
Insects. Insects.
Slugs. Slugs are my main. If anybody here is really into escargot, I've got a perfect farm for you. At nighttime, you can't even count the amount of slugs.
So you don't use ashes?
Hmm?
You don't use ashes?
The ashes is very good as long as it don't rain.
Ah.
And up here,
Yeah.
the beer is also good, but trying to beer 5 or 6 acres of land just means you have lots of stinky containers of stale beer and rotting slugs all over the place. So it's something that we've been trying to figure out. If you've seen this movie, Biggest Little Farm, they brought in ducks, and the ducks eat the slugs. So that's something I've been fantasizing about. Thinking that
But the
might
dogs
actually-
eat the ducks.
the dogs would definitely eat the ducks,
That's
but
what
that would
we
be good for the dogs.
Yeah.
But not good. So
So we had 2 ducks. The
watch,
dogs and the ducks.
watch Biggest Little Farm. I mean, it's a little bit corny, but it's a great example of how you can aim to create balance instead of using all of these toxic chemicals.
You know what is it? They love to eat the grass. Eating the grass. Eating the grass.
See her? Look how far she's going. She's on a tippity tip just to eat some grass, which is going to either medicate her belly or she's going to bring up whatever she ate that she doesn't like. So yes, primarily here is about building on the rock. Pineapples, we did 1,000 pineapples to end this year. So I don't know why I did that, but I like the idea of it.
Such a farmer.
You know? I approve. And we're gonna head down into the garden now. We're gonna grab some suckers and then we'll come back up.
I wish I could get some in a stone. I don't have none.
You don't have any?
Nope. No stone. No. No, I don't have no stone.
Trade some topsoil for stone.
Yeah. Tell you, I would do well with some of this stone. My son saw, look at that, my son want to ride them, you know. Get him back. Brother.
This is the friendliest one.
Mm-hmm.
I phoned up someone who breeds Ridgebacks, but they've gone back to America now.
Mm.
And, asked how much she had a litter.
Yeah.
Puppy she wanted. She said 2,500. I misheard her. I thought she meant 250,000. She meant 2,500 US.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
All right. Pomegranate, yeah.
There's a pomegranate.
Pomegranate. Pomegranate. Pomegranate. And this is a
Mulberry.
mulberry. Your soil look fat though, man. Look at the leaves of these Spanish needle. Look at the Spanish needle leaves. Look at the
Very healthy.
the stem.
Native plants always do better than the imported. That's why we try to stick to as much native and heirloom varieties as possible.
This is a wild lettuce.
I wouldn't call it a what we call it.
Crepus Youngia, Crepus japonica.
Kind of looks like dandelion,
Yeah.
but not.
Hawkweed.
Hawkweed. This is another herb that we used to eat as kids.
Sour borage.
You know it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They call it sour cane or something like that.
Mm-hmm. It's called
The leaves?
yeah. It's the stem.
But the fun
Sour.
of it is that this kind of sour,
Tangy.
kind of.
Make a nice salad.
You probably could put it in your salad.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've used it as a salad. I do.
And you use the leaf too?
Yeah.
Not really. Spanish needle is predominantly used for colds, and it's a great is it antihistamine. So
Yeah.
if you've got things like toothaches, you
Allergies.
can create like a really good mouthwash.
You know me from
It's
the
Spanish
farm
needle.
was saying that she used it for making pesto.
You could, because people feed it to their rabbits, so it is edible as well.
We have lots of that.
Yeah, interesting varieties. This is Search Me Heart over here. This is another really powerful.
Water tank.
Said to actually improve your heart function. But this was one of those key cold bush that we would gather when you had a cold, because whenever my granite wanted me to get cold bush, she always wanted to get some very bitter. And as a child, me, I never wanted that. So we'd get stuff like this because it was halfway in between. It was bitter enough that it would pass our test, but also not too bitter that you couldn't drink it. So
So
always
true.
done in 3, 5s, or 7 when you're preparing cold medicine. Everybody know that? No. So 3 leaves, 5 leaves, or 7 leaves. And if you're never even. And if you're combining herbs, it's the same way. 3 different herbs, 5 different herbs, 7 different herbs. It's one of those traditional ways of doing things.
Can you
So-
eat those raw?
I imagine you could. I've never tried it.
But you want to eat too much.
Kind of fluffy. They also say this is a great toilet paper if you're in the bush.
Yeah.
Not no, which is bad toilet paper.
Look at the leaves. Look at the leaves. Look at this.
This one is
Pretty.
like I guess what most people would call lantana.
Yeah.
A variety of.
Very pretty.
Very pretty.
Medicinal.
Yes,
Mhm.
what we call black sage.
Yeah.
And black sage is really good for stopping bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've cut yourself,
Come from the Vervian family, so
it's
Verbena.
You
Mhm.
take a good amount, kind of pound it into a paste, and you can attach it to that cut, and it will basically just stay on there like a plaster until.
Mhm.
You can make a tea for this, but funny enough, it turns almost black in color.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very good for promoting your blood health. I mean, and then you got culinary herbs, this is dill. So we always try to keep a mix. The good old Jamaican hot pepper. We do a lot of citrus. Again, you see the slugs at work.
Mm-hmm.
They tore these up earlier in the year. So I have to be out at night with my little flashlight.
Wow.
Okay, I have an idea. What if you did some, like, they'll grow orangeries and then they bring them inside? If you had a pot, like, made out of some seashells or something that they couldn't climb up, right? Too scratchy for their bodies?
Around the trees.
Yeah, maybe.
I've been told eggshells.
Yeah.
Somebody told me something else.
Maca bushana.
Maca.
Yeah.
Or anything dry. You can also use, I think, diatomaceous works.
Yeah. Yeah. Crystals.
Yeah. Or salt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you have enough salt. Copper?
Copper shocks and it's like electric fence.
Yes.
Ah.
Put it around like a little wire.
Yes.
I tried that down my house. It worked for a while.
But it's this is
The copper,
for, like, a
right? But
raised
then
bed.
there's that whole electric farming thing that's going on as well. Always for us, water is of utmost importance. So Freel has not had piped water, like government water, for the last maybe 30 or so years. So all of the residents that up here completely depend on the heavens for all our water supply.
Mm.
So everywhere that we can find a space where we can create a water catchment system, we do that. Because we have so much stone,
Mm.
it totally makes sense that we make it up. And then we'll drop a greenhouse on top of this when it's finished. We'll gutter the greenhouse so that the water goes in here. Plus, all the water that's coming off the road, we will pipe it from a guttering system, filter it, and we'll also fill this. And when the rain falls, our road is like Dunsborough Falls. It's crazy amounts of water that will go to waste. When that is full, eventually we'll do a pond here.
Yeah. So overflow into this.
Yes.
Okay. How big?
This is it. This is as big as it gets. So I think it's about like 10 by 20, maybe something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe about 20, maybe 30, maybe
Mm.
25,000 gallons. But
Mm.
we want it to fill up quickly, so it overflows into the pot. And then we'll get the ducks, and then I'll teach my dogs how to not eat the ducks. Good plan.
Pineapples.
Watch out for the ants' nest. All right, this is probably the coolest thing I've seen all year.
Oh, lichens.
Yeah, you know it.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of wanted here to serve as a little bit of a nursery for germinating young plants, which is why we brought out the shade cloth.
Cool and damp.
And then all of a sudden our shade cloth started to grow.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look on the top of the shade cloth, you see another plant that is in the lichen family.
Mm-hmm.
It's not parasitic in any way, but what it does is attach itself to things and it thrives off of a high moisture environment.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is. It's gonna also be called old man's beard.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see it on those trees up there, kind of once it gets bigger. But old man's beard is also known as Siba, or Shiba, sorry, in Middle Eastern cultures. And it's used to make a tea to keep the body warm if you have chills. So I know I have a Siba farm. Shiba farm. Totally incidentally. Scotch bonnets, because we do make our Scotch bonnet pepper sauce, which is called Blow Fire. And then we have a second Scotch bonnet pepper sauce, which is a ripe Scotch bonnet called Don't Take a 649. And we're always about polyculture. So layers of plants instead of one or two or three or anything. The citrus is in response to the fact that Jamaica had this citrus virus. Anybody remember the name of that virus that was wiping out all the citrus on the island? It's called green? No. I think it's a Cicatola mosaic or something like that. But it was really creating havoc, and then they stopped it from planting any type of citrus on the island without it being approved by the citrus board. So of course it resulted in us having a shortfall. You can't even get one of the most popular oranges on the island. Anybody know what orange that is? That's our orange.
Navel,
Ortenique.
Ortenique.
Civil orange is still here because it's so resilient. But the Ortenique is probably the sexiest orange on the planet, I think. And when was the last time you had a good Ortenique? Have you ever had one? It's a cross between a tangerine and an orange, I think. I think it was done by local Jamaican breeders. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful orange. And now really hard to find. So we have citrus all the way through, because citrus also like the drainage. Yeah, but no ugly. Ugly fruit? It's mostly for making juice. Uglies are good juicing fruit. It's full of juice and it's kind of sour. So what we've done here is to integrate citrus all the way through, because that tree up there on the path is a tangerine, and those did really well naturally. And then we also have a civil orange over here, and we make a really lovely civil orange marmalade. I'm gonna share this herb with you because
So spice.
this one is another one that I find just really does well on this property.
Jointer.
And chances are you don't know this one. It looks like jointer, but it's not.
Piper.
You're close.
From the Piper family. We have it in St. Thomas.
Smell it and tell me what you get.
Yeah, man, it's
See it there?
from the same black pepper family.
You're gonna know it. You probably haven't seen it.
Pepper elder.
It is very spicy.
Pepper elder.
That is exactly what we call it.
Pepper elder.
This the upside down?
Eh?
This the upside down?
Yeah, man, but St. Thomas now. It bears a berry on it. It grows a berry on
This
it.
one doesn't bear berry.
Yeah?
Not that I recall.
Yeah, man, it grows a vine. It grows a berry, but it's not fully developed. Some little peppercorn stuff.
You're thinking of thing there. I know what you're thinking of. It kind of looks like this too. Yeah.
He's like, pet me or you can't. You can't.
This is what?
That's what you had in your salad.
Right, but I don't know.
Nasturtium.
What?
Nasturtium.
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 Nasturtiums are the queen of edible flowers.
And
they're also high in a nutrient called lutein, which is
very
good for your eyes.
Okay. Nasturtium. And that is tobacco.
That is tobacco.
Tobacco. So where do we there?
Not much in stock right now. Coming on. I just actually dropped some seeds.
There's some nice dark rotten tree parts here, man.
Yeah.
But I could trade dirt with you for stone. Yeah, man, I have enough stone, you know.
And you have enough stone, or you have no
Enough dirt.
Enough
No,
dirt and
no stone.
No stone.
I mean, I can't even find not even one.
Oh wow.
How this is possible?
Yeah, not even
Where are
one.
you? Where's your place?
Portland.
Portland.
Not even
What kind of stone? You have
one.
the black dirt?
No,
I see,
clay.
like a clay.
Clay.
Oh, that's unusual.
Mhm.
But
And even with dig, we can use a shovel and dig all the
Pure
way.
dirt.
Yeah, pure dirt.
all right, I make you a deal.
Mm.
Take all the stone you want, give me all the dirt.
Oh my God. Wish I could do that.
We have to
man.
carry it on your head.
Oh my God. Look at stone, man. Mm.
Some stuff.
And it's interesting. You build your seed bed. I notice you pack the stones and you pack cardboards, and then you put the compost on top of it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, man.
Yeah. So this area again, all stone. That little part right there is one of the few plots
Section.
where we have some dirt.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a lot of stuff going in there as well. But here, pure stone. This was the only part here that had some soil. But what we did have was like a good volume of organic matter.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the old trees that had rotted, and if you look all over in those spaces, you will see certain amounts of that composted organic matter. But we liked the ability to have the stones. So we packed the stones to kind of create some terracing, some layers. And then we dropped
The grass.
cardboard first, because you have plenty cardboard, especially because of our business. We're always getting stuff. The Abzinga. Thank you very much. We're always getting lots of cardboard. And so you pack the cardboard on top of the stone to keep down the grass, one. You can soak it before you do it so it holds the moisture. And then the next layer, we use our grass clippings. The only thing I advise with the grass clippings, make sure the grass that you're using is dead. Otherwise,
They'll
you're
grow.
going to also start to grow grass. So it needs to be properly dried out. Get out. Thank you. Which is a problem that we had up there with the grass. All of it started to grow. So the mulch, and then on top of that, you can either do two things. You can do some manure and then some finished compost, or you can just finish with some finished compost. It's kind of up to you. But what we'll do, this is the first crop that we're doing here. As soon as this crops come out, we'll go ahead and do it again. So we'll skip the cardboard part, but we'll go with another layer of mulch and another layer of compost. And from season to season, we'll continue to build on top of that. Hopefully we'll get to about 6 inches right now. We have about, maybe with my finger length, that's about what, 2 inches, maybe 3?
Yeah.
So it's great for your
Shallow root.
your microgreens that don't really need a deep root set. And we're gonna be clipping these out for service really quickly. So you can clip these out, mulch, manure or compost, and then go ahead and sow it one more time to kind of keep building on that, keep building your own soil. And this works, especially environments like this. What you're really doing is creating your own soil. And I find that with the clay, which we have another area that we'll check when we go over that way, you don't really know what's in there. It might be healthy, it might be not. You're going to be adding compost anyways. So starting with this, you know exactly what you're working with. And the pineapples, again, is great for holding up the walls. Once they get strong enough, they'll kind of push back. These are nasturtiums. So nasturtiums, actually Lisa planted these, because you know Stush loves Stush.
Mm-hmm.
And those are your edible flowers. We've done some really wonderful things with nasturtiums. Rather than just having them as garnish, stuff them with almond ricotta, sprinkle them with our vegan parm, and just present them on a table like that. It's just, you're ready. All right, good.
Oh yeah, I did. And I was wondering, have you used the seeds of the nasturtiums too? Because that's like a taper.
We tried that. We have tried that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't sound like you were.
It's just not something that we followed up on.
Got it.
We save them and try to keep them for planting, but that's something that we did try and probably need to follow up on more. These squash are actually calabasas that we brought back from Mexico, as well as the corn varieties, and they were doing really good until we had like 4 weeks of pure rain and cold, and from that they just started to tank. We won't get a really great production out of it. What you see, the little green on the side, is arugula, and that's what went into your salad mix. Arugula will grow almost anywhere, so you can just throw it on the ground, and chances are it's going to keep coming, and it tends to blossom as well, so you can save your arugula seeds. And it's one of those greens that's just very multifunctional. You can do an arugula pesto. It's easy in a salad. You can use it as garnish. It's just one of those those greens that is kind of resilient. This is it's kind of like a mustard mix or a mesclun mix. So it does have some lettuce in there. And for what we do, one of our staples as far as our food is a good salad. Especially if you're going plant-based, you're going to be eating a lot of salad. And the thing you don't want is to get bored of your salad or eat a lot of boring salad, because you're going to want to switch up real quick from that type of diet. So, yeah, he's not going to move, but let's see what he does. They normally don't come down here. When it's me, I don't allow them down here. But since they see you guys, are like, hey, we get a free pass. So all good. This side here will continue kind of like with the same thing. It's predominantly stone. At the top, we're going to be putting what I call a fortress, because I went to St. Martin and fell in love with the concept of a fortress overlooking the sea. Built solidly out of stone, a nice big open bath in the center, and some rooms up top for things like spas and stuff like that. And then, of course, all the pineapples you can eat, because that's what you're going to have down here. A lot of pineapples. We'll do a lot more peppers, because it also will kind of thrive in this environment. And up here, we're kind of looking to just preserve it as it is, but drop a tree house up in that big, beautiful ficus there in the background. So it's always about like really trying to make your space feel like you're living someplace like on another planet of your own dreams, where the things magical, perfect word. So it doesn't make sense you have this space that you have and you're just like, oh, let me just plant some carrots. As much as I love carrots, right? Even if you're gonna plant carrots, you can get rainbow carrots, you can get round French Parisian carrots, you can get purple carrots. Sexy up the thing. 2024 is about stush it up. Sexy farming 101. So we're gonna go up. I'm gonna bring you guys to one more field. We do a little planting over there. We have some lettuce greens that need to go into the ground so you guys can see what our actual soil looks like, but we also mulch and compost on top of that as well. So as you pass that little area, just grab one of the red lettuces, and then we'll head up and we'll do some quick planting. Pepper elder, if you have any bloating or gas, that's the main treatment that we use pepper elder for. Tea, and when you're making tea, don't boil, you always steep. So boil the water, pour it on top. Instead of boiling the actual leaf, which can actually kill out the thing that you're looking to benefit from. So grab one of the pots there with the lettuce. They're in that little round box.
You wouldn't use that, right?
So this is fungus.
Disease.
Yeah.
No, it is.
Yeah, because of the climate up here. Very attractive to fungus.
Bring it up. All right.
Very oily.
Line up in the sky, it can quack. one of the most researched birds on our island, but researched primarily for their speech box, their voice box. Apparently, they can talk.
This looks like some kind of marigold.
This is actually,
It's like real aromatic.
you might recognize the smell. Did you smell it?
I did.
Ah,
No, Tarragon.
but it does smell a lot like.
This is roadside mint. Very hot. Roadside mint.
Yeah, but these start out green. This is the purple variety, but they start out green. When they're mature, when they're ripe. Melina, not native to Jamaica at all, but also causes all kinds of interesting medicine and does bear actual fruit. It's spelled Gmelina. A really interesting plant that has all kinds of really cool features to it. I guess that's probably the one drawback that if I had to change anything about how we started to grow up here, I would have kept more of the native species. Right now I'm finding that we don't see them as much, and a lot of the species that we did introduce, they're invasive. So like my tangerine trees are dying out. Over in that corner I had tons of tangerines, but I have this giant acacia that has totally taken over the space. The blue maho is a national tree of Jamaica, but I don't think it's from Jamaica, which makes no sense. But it's like, come on.
Uncle.
Byron.
Right.
It looks a lot like tea.
All right, so we're heading over this way.
Is that
put them on them like a police them.
Stay with the pack.
All right, so we're heading this way.
I know you would.
Yeah, guys. So, tell me what you think about the not farm, but the garden. Ross don't like to hear the word farm. He says this is his garden. So we're moving to another area of the garden where we're gonna actually do some planting and experience what the soil is like here. Mm-hmm. So these are nice little. We did this. We made some of these. Mm-hmm. So these are microgreens as well.
No, they're young, but they're not technically. And because we have more soil over here, we
Right.
have a complete different type of plants over here. You put plants over here that need more soil.
Right.
So your underground crops.
You take it down, Mr. Bird.
All right, so you guys can just pick a bed, any bed where you're gonna plant your lettuce. It's gonna head down the line there, and then we'll start off with a quick conversation.
Thyme, tomato, carrots.
Hey, what are you doing over there? You're a big fish. Like dinosaur.
Just plant them wherever we see space, or do you
Yes.
have a specific?
Pick a bed, any place where you see space. I like lines, clean, straight lines or curved lines. I like a little bit of stooshness to the planting. So yeah, the soil is already kind of tilled, so it's pretty soft. If you do need a machete, we got one here. If you want to open up a little bit. And you don't want to pull the plants out. You want to pull up your plant with some soil. So it's better to pull them up in the soil, break them apart, and then drop them in. Right. You got some people that are not unfamiliar with this.
You're putting all that patch in one place?
You want to put it in
Break
multiple
them up
places?
Yeah.
in the soil.
You want to break it up
Kind of
a little
line
bit.
them up across the bed.
Because that's
What
too
you're
much.
looking at that's already in the soil is radishes. So we plant the radishes over here because we've got a lot more soil to work with over here. And radishes are an underground crop, typically, or below ground. And we also follow
Clean them out.
biodynamic planting by the moon calendar as well. So certainly use the almanac. Not necessarily the McDonald one, but we use the almanac.
So it's new moon now.
The more root depth, is the bigger your plants can be.
We can do this row?
Yeah. Just don't displace the radishes.
Break it up even more.
Yeah. Because when you're planting that, they're going to compete.
There's some peppers.
Sure. Any place where you see space.
2 peppers.
Oh yeah, he said like he had soil, they planted peppers and they never came up. That's actually a calendar.
And remember to give them a little space because they are gonna get bigger over time.
I think you separate them. I think yeah.
Yeah, you can separate them.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of
And this
break
is
them
still,
off with a little
this is still
soil.
too much.
Yeah. Kind of in each one. Yeah, like this is a good little bundle here. And if you see little pepper trees in there, like this one here, these are the poblanos. So just stick them anywhere you find a little space there. We'll see what happens. All right, so this is way too many. Remember, these are gonna come up
be nice little lettuce plants. So you see like this one here with your single. And to make it fast, what I do, finger in there. Drop it in. Yeah.
Langston, go and sit down. Oh, I think that was lovely.
Isn't that 9% of Jamaican farms on this side?
That's why all the plantations typically try to set themselves on flat surfaces. Because it's the original model for industrialized agriculture.
So here what you do. Pick your finger.
Finger.
All right, so we are planting away. All that planting. So guys, tell me what you think about today's video. If you enjoyed videos, more videos like these, let me know. A lot of this content is because of my Kinder wellness community that I haven't posted any videos for in such a long time, because I typically do my videos live. However,
You don't say they don't really eat a lot.
doesn't give me a chance to do that
They eat
sometimes.
one time a day.
So
Puppies eat more
I
than
plan to
puppies
do
are,
more
you know,
videos like
do by
these,
that.
record them, then upload them,
No, that's not what it's all.
and I do live recordings, and kind of I want to have some more consistency, guys. So I'm planning to upload videos Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. That's and I'll do them from time to time live as well. That's our 60 Minutes with Mother Nature. I try to do at least one live video a week and do the others as pre-recording. So guys, that's it. That's our trip to Stush in the Bush. I'm gonna leave the information if you'd like to visit. Then I'll put the info in the description of the video. All right. Thank you, guys. Bye bye. See you next time.
Individualized. So instead of pulling through like a whole